We will now turn it over to Gary and Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Loberg, and I'm so delighted to be here with you today and excited to share about our chapter that really reflects on the past, present, and future of study abroad. And I think many of us here can agree that it has been a challenging, but also a very rewarding road. For this chapter, we focus on the remarkable trajectory of study abroad, starting with the growth in student participation over the past several decades. We look at operations and the evolution of study abroad offices, the professionalism of the field, and it is truly remarkable to see how it has progressed over time. Many of us here probably know firsthand the experience of even starting a study abroad office, the joy of creating it from the ground up. And we may also recall the constant struggle of having to make the case for its existence, trying to do it all as a one-person office, finally making progress, and ultimately seeing its expansion. Study abroad in whatever configuration or name is displayed on the door, international programs, global learning, it now has a place among the other offices on a campus. Study abroad opportunities and faculty-led programs are featured in admissions materials. Participation stats often find their way into the speeches of college presidents. And we're proud of this progress. It is gratifying to see how study abroad has evolved, how technology has made our world smaller and more connected, how institutions have devoted attention to campus internationalization with partnerships and collaborations around the world. We do take pride in the professionalism and the sharing of best practices in so many areas, including program design, student support, health and safety, pre-departure preparation, re-entry. The measurement of study abroad's impact on student learning, on college retention, and on student careers. And even Congress managed to agree on something in declaring 2006 the year of study abroad. And yet, while so much has flourished, many barriers, both real and perceived, still prevent more students from participating. And we must continue to expand access and ensure all students have a clear path to these experiences. And there are new sets of challenges which we must navigate and overcome, and which continue to require innovative thinking. So I'll pause there and I'll hand it over to my co-author, Gary Rhodes. Thanks.
Thanks, Lisa. When I got into the field in 1989 to continue, study abroad offices, as Lisa mentioned, were many one-person offices, isolated islands on a college campus. And that resulted in some staff who didn't really have a comprehensive background of best practices in university administration, student affairs best practices, and health and safety. Following a number of highly publicized incidents through RE health and safety, there became an increased focus on the field on some of these issues, with a greater connection to other organizations like NASPA, which focuses on student affairs, led by Roger Ludeman at the time, and a focus on health and safety, with groups coming together across the field, connecting to the State Department, Overseas Security Advisory Council, and the state adding academia to their purview, and regular U.S. and international health and safety workshops, with NAFSA, Forum on Education Abroad, and other international organizations providing resources and support in the area. Whereas there was no full-time study abroad health and safety folks in the field at the end of the 80s, and now there's over 100 representatives of a group called Pulse, representing full-time health and safety support on campuses. We've navigated a global pandemic in the field. Study abroad students were brought back in spring 2020 because of COVID-19. These health and safety people helped bring these people back effectively, but the field actually came to a close in a certain sense as COVID-19 stopped study abroad. Although it resulted in virtual study abroad, and I'll talk about that in a minute as well. Looking at the expanding the impact of study abroad, research has shown that study abroad has a positive impact on international learning as well as student retention and success. We have a greater number of people in the field that have doctoral degrees, so we have more practitioners that also have capacity to do research. We've been looking at the impact of student international travel on climate change. So looking at the potential of that negative impact. Some institutions are looking at being carbon neutral. But I think the important thing is that we look at the importance of study abroad when we do send students abroad on making a difference for those students significant, as well as making an impact on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we find that growth in the field on looking at those connections between the study abroad field, student learning, and the UN SDGs. This includes a relatively new organization called CANI and the Forum on Education Abroad and other organizations providing guidance and even adding awards for institutions integrating an impact on the UN SDGs in their study abroad programs. One of the issues we talk about is expanding collaboration. Sometimes in the field we talk to ourselves, which is great, but maybe we're not talking as much as we can to others. Since 2012 Olympics in London, I've been working on increasing collaboration between the study abroad field and the Olympic movement, as well as other high impact international athletic events. There's actually a higher ed association called FISU, the International University Sports Federation, that brings university athletes together, and their Healthy Campus program focuses on supporting the UN SDGs. What's surprising is that that organization in the study abroad field really hasn't connected that well. So that's another opportunity for making an impact. The Olympic movement has a clear connection to the UN SDGs. The United Nations has actually made statements on how sports and the Olympics make a significant impact, as well as the Olympic Values Education Program, connecting resources and ideals to schools and education. And every 2 years, over 25% of the world's population watches, whether it's on site or at home on the internet and on TV. This summer, with the Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games taking place in Paris, there's an opportunity for international educators to connect the ideals and values we have in study abroad to those in the Olympic movement. We conclude by reflecting on the study abroad world of the future. With the current global conflicts and climate changes and other challenges facing the world, the study abroad field has made an impact, but that impact can grow, whether it's on students or on the world at large. COVID-19 did expand opportunities to see that virtual study abroad, doing international learning in home, can make an impact as well with AI and all the apps that are out there and other online resources and teaching at home, abroad, and after coming back. We can make a greater impact on students through intensifying these efforts along with the international travel that takes place in study abroad. We hope you enjoy our chapter when you get a chance to read it. Thank you.
Thank you so